course. Of course. The Russian government has been reluctant to announce that any of its members have been killed. Oh, yes, a count came out last week, yes, but they're not even picking up the dead. And this is something that, you know, if you're a member of the service in the United States and Europe, for the most part, you take an oath to not leave the bodies of your dead staff or comrades laying out there. But that's not what's going on. So, you know, clearly he doesn't want to have all the bodies of these dead soldiers. He can at least have some compassion for the mothers who don't know what's happened to their son because they're not being told. So in a sense, yes, but it's not a big enough we to really heal the rift. You're going to have to, the leaders have to lead now. And they have to lead maybe as they've never done before. They have to get off their political platforms. They have to lead into a we. Some of them are doing it. Unfortunately, you don't always see it at the other levels of government. For the most part, you do see it, but there are always those rogues who still want to do something to disrupt, because when disruption happens, things fall apart. That is the strategy. And so it's very important. So yes, Zelensky was offering something because he has a heart. He has compassion. He knows these mothers want to know what has happened to their sons, and in some cases, daughters. So however it comes about, you must create it. But I'm not speaking to any one person alone. That won't work in this case. That's why it's so important to access the archetypal realm, where the mind, the alchemists, all that work was done on the archetypal realm, where you learn to create with your mind in a non-physical realm, and then you try to bring it into a physical realm. So get busy, get on that realm, however you access it. If Lord Hanuman works for you, great. If not, find something that does, because that's the place where real creative differences are made. That and people coming together and forming a we. So I don't know, I was trying to think what might be something I could offer you at this point. So perhaps a poem that was written by a British author. He wrote it to his son. So all the references at the end are masculine, but it may remind you what's important. He says, if you can keep your head when all about you are losing theirs and blaming it on you, if you can trust yourself when all men doubt you, but make allowances for their doubting too, if you can wait and not be tired by waiting, or being lied about, not give way to lies, or even being hated, don't give way to hating. And yet, don't look too good, nor talk too wise. If you can dream and not make dreams your master, if you can think and not make thoughts your aim, if you can meet with triumph and disaster and treat those two impostors just the same, if you can bear to hear the truth you've spoken twisted by knaves to make traps for fools, or watch the things you gave your life to broken and stoop and build them up with worn out tools, if you can make one heap of all your winnings and risk it on one turn of pitch and toss and lose and start again at your beginnings and never breathe a word about your loss. If you can force your turn, or excuse me, if you can force your heart and nerve and sinew to serve your turn long after they are gone, and so hold on when there is nothing left in you except the will which says to them, hold on. If you can talk with crowds and keep your virtue, or walk with kings nor lose the common touch, if neither foes nor loving friends can hurt you, if all men count with you, but none too much, if you can fill the unforgiving minute with 60 seconds worth of distance run, yours is the earth and everything in it. And, which is more, you'll be a man, my son. So, while we're not really talking about manhood here, we could say you will be in touch with your essence, your divine self, yourself that is very spacious. I want to say one more thing about spaciousness is very allowing. And I have some students that think that means, oh, you just allow everything to happen. You just allow, you know, somebody steps on your toes, you allow. Well, maybe that. If someone is beating their dog, you allow. What if someone's beating their child? Oh, allow, I'm spacious. That misses the point altogether, doesn't it? You have to have courage. It will take fortitude to enter the archetypal realm and direct the forces there, to raise the energy frequency in this part of Europe. It's very dense right now. On the one hand, it is filled with aims for destruction, power over, greed. On the other, the agony of death and destruction, losing everything, knowing that you have no home to return to, wondering if you will ever get out of that subway station alive, where you've been for days now with no food. These are very dense experiences, which is why you must find a way to move into a greater spaciousness, but not just allowing as if to say nothing matters. Allowing to know that even problems as intense as they are, abide in a bigger space that contains their solutions. And I think, my dear friends, the solutions now is in the we. So all those people that are important to you, tell them. All those people who mean something to you, tell them. All the people whom you love, tell them. Exercise the we. And then that love can grow. If you can reconcile with just some part of your inner being, or with someone that you're at odds in some even small way, that generates energy into the field of greater reconciliation. My dear friends, it's so important at this time. So know that I love you. I bless you. And I hold forth for the total effectuation of the greater we, the embodiment of a spaciousness so kind and so loving that the instruments of war will simply melt in its presence.